Hi and welcome to this Blueberry Markets video update with me, John Kibler, head currency analyst. In this video we're going to look at the Forex Market Wrap. Going to go through some of the charts we highlighted in the week ahead analysis video, see how they performed, and some of the markets that we took a look at this week as well. So diving straight into the news, we had the RBNZ rate hike that investors were looking at this week, and we saw a move from 3.5% to 4.25%. And the RBNZ are looking to hike rates further now. They did slow the pace of tightening most recently. However, the inflation rate continued to rise. So they've acted aggressively. In the press conference, they also said that they're going to follow the numbers. So if they need to hike aggressively again, they will. So basically, that could be the cards for another hike. That has kept Kiwi strong. So typically what we can do, ultimately see is that some of these moves may be priced into the market because the RBNZ were talking about hiking rates aggressively. It was priced in at 75 basis points. Kiwi gets stronger towards the event, so usually on the event we get a little bit of downside. Didn't really have that with the Kiwi this week. Kiwi continued to remain fairly strong. We then had services and manufacturing PMI out across Europe as well as the UK, and then some services PMI in the US. Now, the services PMI in the US came as a little bit of a shock. We're expecting a little increase from 47.8 to 48.0. Didn't get that. Instead, we had 46.1 coming in. So quite significant downside data coming in from the US now. We then had the FOMC meeting minutes, which highlighted even further that the Federal Reserve are going to slow down the pace of tightening in December. And with data like this from the flash services PMI, that's also kind of being reflected now in the data for the Federal Reserve. So quite interesting data to look at this week. So moving on, we looked at the euro US dollar. We looked at the 1.05 area being a target for price this week. We also discussed price coming potentially back to the 1.0100 for a long idea, but none of those really came into fruition. We came quite close to the 1.05 area last week, but this week price just kind of pulled back. And in yesterday's video we discussed whether price was going to form a double top here at the daily 200 moving average, or whether it was going to reach that 1.05 or even the 1.06 handle. I'm still on the side with the 1.06 handle. You can see today's candlestick has closed, or could close within the previous day's candle with a bit of a tail to the downside above the 200 moving average. So next week we could probably see that move higher coming into play. Moving on to the pound US dollar, then we can see that pound prices have continued to move higher. We discussed whether price would come back to the 1.1700 handle before seeing the move back to the 122. Do feel like 122 is on the cards for the pound, and what we had instead was price broke through this counter trend line resistance level and just continued to push to the upside. So I do still feel 122 handle is going to be tested by cable prices very soon. Following on from that, the New Zealand dollar. So I was expecting price, or what I would have liked to have seen from price, is it come to 0.6. Had a lot of confluence to go long in and around this area, and I thought that maybe the RBNZ news might drive price into that 0.6 level, but that wasn't to be. Instead, we kind of remained range bound, and then the price has now rallied to the upside. So looking at the chart now, we do have quite a nice little area here, which is around about the 0.6450 handle, where you can see strong aggressive sellers came into play. So I wouldn't mind seeing price actually aiming for that level. We might then get a move to the downside from that point of view, but I do quite like the idea of looking for price to come up towards that 64.50. Obviously we have 65.50 above, which is a decent area of resistance as well, but nice level to watch coming into next week. Finally then, coming into euro yen, just wanted to highlight a move down that we explained in a video this week. We were talking about the fact that euro yen was working in a bearish channel, but also was following this kind of squeeze pattern on the chart. We then exited the squeeze pattern, and this is where we were talking about looking for some downside in the market. Overall target area was the 142.75, but if you did look at that move, we did drop 150 pips down from that area, from that breakout point. So if you did manage to find any kind of move there, we did see a 150 pip move to the downside. Price has actually recovered that now, but still looks a little bit top heavy, so it looks to me like we could probably still see another breakout with a move coming towards the 142.75 handle. So I hope you enjoyed the content this week. If you did, leave this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the YouTube channel to see some more of our Forex trading content, and I'll speak to you in the next video.